What's going on, everybody? It's TheZachMichael here. Today, we're going to be creating a melody loop from scratch. I'm going to be showcasing you guys, in my opinion, the most underrated effect VST that you can put on sounds to process them. Now, there's tons of underrated ones. There's a lot of different effects plugins that I use and that I recommend. And I'm sure a lot of people know about the one I'm going to showcase today. But honestly, I bring it up to a lot of people because a lot of people hit me up about my samples. Like, how do you get things to sound like that? What do you recommend? And I tell them this plugin, and they've never used it or they don't own it. And we're just going to kind of create a simple little chord progression here really quickly. Nothing too crazy. We'll literally just have the same chord repeat. And we're going to obviously build on that. But now let's go ahead and get into the actual VST. So the actual VST is called Portal. It's by a company called Output. And this is an absolutely crazy VST. Now on my site, elizabethrecords.net, I actually have Portal banks, which custom presets. Now, if you don't have any money, that's fine, because I also have a free bank with a bunch of sick free presets. And then I have some for sale as well, of course. But also, there's tons that are built into Portal. Like, as you can see, they do a lot of different things. We're going to be using this ambient lake one. Actually sounds pretty sick. But what we're going to want to do is we're going to pitch the sample up later on. Just because this is a little low, but for now we'll leave it there. We're going to speed it up to like 142. We're just going to kind of start building on this sample here. So next I'm going to load up Electro X and try to find a sound in there to kind of add something on top of this. Like right now we kind of have these ambient, almost like reversed piano chords. We might even add some high notes like that. We're just gonna adjust the velocities a little bit, randomize that. Now we're gonna go into here, just try to find like another sound we could use. I like this pluck, but I want to turn off the ping pong delay. Or maybe I don't, but maybe I want to just adjust the timing. So let's try like, what does it sound like if I use like 1/4 timing? Something like that maybe. Yeah. Alright, so now we're just going to kind of build a little bit of a melody here. Like that. And we're actually going to throw Portal on this as well. Most of the time when I create samples, the way I like using Portal is I use it a lot more subtly. So where some effects plugins, you might put them on everything. With this one, you can, and we're going to do that in today's video. But usually, I'll kind of be more selective with which layers in my melodies get it added. We're going to go into guitars and keys and see if we can find something cool in here that we can use. Now, as you'll see, the basics of what Portal is, it's like it does granular synthesis, like multiple processing at once, essentially. Like it kind of cuts things up, rearranges them. It's a lot of complex mechanics with grains and, you know, the way that the things are going to be modified and stretched, etc. But for anybody who doesn't know all that complicated stuff or doesn't want to learn the complex nature of granular synthesis, but still wants to have some creative control, in a preset, you can actually drag this little circle here and it will sound differently because you're basically controlling the X and the Y. And as you can see, it literally, like, the preset's labeled, like the blue is the stretch and the effects is over there. So like if we put this here, it sounds like that. Let's see, as you drag it, it's gonna sound different. I actually like it right there. Pretty solid. Okay. Next, we're going to open up Omnisphere. I want to add a synth bass. Now, this might be the actual only layer on the loop that actually isn't going to get Portal, just because I probably want to keep this very simple. So I'm just going to grab a growler bass right here, and I'm just going to have this really, really simply just following like all I'm going to do to process that is just take some of the highs off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to transpose this, and then we're going to add an arcade, but I want to transpose it first. So we're going to click transpose selected. I want to pitch it up, so we're going to pitch it up 2. Now instead of being, I didn't go through with the transpose, so that's why that didn't work. So +2, click the check mark. Now everything went up. So instead of being an A minor, it's now a B minor, and all the notes have rose. Like that. Alright. Now that we're in B minor, I'm going to open up arcade, and we're going to try to find like one more kind of layer to put on this. I'm trying to leave a lot of room on this sample just to kind of let some of those portal processings like reversing and little stuff like that shine. What we're going to do is go into chopped. I want to find something in here, and the reason I want to find something in here is because we can find something that's simplified, and we can use that with the portal. Like this. We're just going to make that go half as fast. Yeah. Alright, so let's open up Portal. First we're going to open up Reverb. I'm going to use this reverb here. Just turn the mix down ever so slightly there. And now we're going to open up Portal. I just wanted to make it a little bit more ambient. And although there are certain reverbs within Portal, I don't know if I would recommend them all the time. I feel like Portal does a lot better with kind of like multiple effects at once, and it just kind of creates like different textures. We're going to go into guitars and keys. Now you can also turn down the wet and dry of something. So if you like how something sounds but you only want it in the background, it doesn't have to be so upfront. Alright, let's go into my free bank and try to find something. Pretty interesting. It kind of creates this little subtle reverse within that guitar. I kind of like. I think I'd like to have a section as well with a different guitar. That's what this is going to be. Still the same processing, but just a different section of the loop can have, you know, 2 different guitars going through it, which I think is kind of good. It creates some variation, because otherwise this loop is still fairly simple. There's a lot of room for an artist on it, which is something that I think about when I create a lot of my samples, is I'm trying to make stuff that there's room for an artist. But the Portal adds a lot of unique processing to the guitars and the different elements there, and honestly that creates enough depth and fullness to the majority of your samples that you don't need a ton of layers or too many things going on to make things sound good in Portal, or to make good loops with Portal. So we're just going to kind of arrange things out, and then we're going to have the new guitar layer come in just like that. And then we're going to take all the stems and put these at the end here, just like that. And what we might actually do is stretch all of these, because I think I want to adjust the tempo of the sample now that I'm done. So we're going to go ahead. We might speed it up to like 149, maybe even a little faster. 153 sounds pretty good to me. Maybe raise the volume on the second guitar a little bit. Yeah, honestly, Portal is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated effects plugins. Now, the stock ones are crazy. There's tons of producers in the producer community who have Portal banks that sound absolutely crazy. If you want to purchase mine, they're on my site. If you want the free one, that is also on my site, so feel free to go to TheZachMichael.net and get that. And if you don't use Portal, but you use other VSTs, I have tons of other VST expansion banks on there as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Head on over to ElizabethRecords.net if you'd like to support me. You can purchase VST expansion banks, drum kits, loop kits, and MIDI kits that'll level up your production there.